Yes, we are live, fellas.
Oh man, what a time! What a time to be alive! What a time! Whew, man. I want to ask this. And not even like trying to be funny or like have fun with this type of system. Um, like not even trying to be fun or like with this thing, but like what's the most gruesome injury y'all have ever seen in person? Like what have y'all seen that's like? Have y'all seen any real bad
like
ones
on TV, like live?
Like in person,
I don't think I see any in person. I don't watch some games on TV live, and I've seen some crazy stuff.
And
like I saw the Paul George live.
yeah, I saw Paul George
we
live. I saw
Paul
Gordon Hayward live. Kevin Ware live.
The Kevin Ware one was not. That one was crazy.
Bro, it was nasty because they zoomed in. They don't usually zoom in on.
And why would they zoom in on that? That was just disgusting. That was nuts.
No, I've really only seen 2 injuries in person. One of them was not so serious just because it was goofy. It resulted in 2 broken legs, but it was super goofy. So, like, I don't take it that serious. You know what I'm talking about, Gibbs?
I don't know.
I'll remind you after the show. And I'm from the east side, so I seen an injury that was much more fatal, but, we don't really need to talk about that on the show.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, this situation with Damar Hamlin has got a lot of people talking about a lot of different things in terms of what it's like for players and all that going through injuries and what it's like with folks seeing people like very seriously hurt, very very gravely hurt, and honestly, like yes. It's very easy to point the finger at the NFL and say like how trash they are for trying to get that game back started in 5 minutes. But what I will say is this: those 2 head coaches, they didn't make what I would call an easy decision.
Right.
They to me, they made a very brave decision. They made a decision that needed to be made, that needed to happen, but like. Again, wasn't easy, wasn't popular. Actually, it was popular, but it wasn't easy, and there was always going to be some people that are against it, and so both of those head coaches, right? Both of those head coaches need to get some love there because there's no easy way, right? There's no easy way to say like, hey, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Sean McDermott, Zach Taylor, both of them need some love. And obviously we're praying for Damar and his family because from all the reports that I'm seeing, he has a pulse, but he's not breathing on his own yet. So, that's one of those situations where, if that doesn't get going soon, his family's going to be faced with the toughest decision that you'll ever be faced with.
Right.
Especially as a parent having to make that decision for your child or something along those lines. So we're praying that he gets through that and he pulls through. But, there's no easy way to go at that. And so let me ask y'all this from the logistics standpoint of it. Do you continue that game at a later date? What do you do there? Do you cancel it? Do you call it a tie? Do you award the win to the team that was up? Like, what do you do in that type of situation?
Me personally, I would cancel the game. If it was under different circumstances, then maybe I might reconsider. But you're looking at 2 teams who are clearly going to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. It's 1 week left in the season. And if you look at the further that we progress as a society, the more that we see how serious the effects that football has on the human body.
Right.
So when we're discussing a injury or situation as serious as the one that happened yesterday, it wouldn't be advised to have a team play multiple football games because the playoffs are coming up. You would have to do it somewhere in the middle of the week before this next week or immediately after before the playoff gets here. And following up a situation like that, putting a human body through that much strain, playing a game on Sunday, and then they play again on Thursday, I wouldn't advise that. It's two teams that, regardless how this game turned out, I mean, it was going to be a hell of a football game, but it wouldn't affect these two teams as far as what's going to happen in the postseason.
But that's the part of it why many people are like, this game has to be played in terms of like the AFC playoff picture, because like this will not affect whether or not these two teams make the playoffs. However, there's a ton in terms of, the Bengals for potentially clinching the AFC North.
Right.
Or for the Bills and their chance at getting the 1 seed, as opposed to the 2 seed, which we know now there's only one bye week in the playoffs. So, I mean, realistically, you're looking at, a situation where very easily you could be placed in a grave disadvantage by virtue of a very unfortunate incident happening.
Very true.
Right? Like, and so that becomes the question there. So I get your sentiments to cancel it, and I think those are very legitimate. But there is another side to that coin. Chris, what do you think?
I think you have no choice but to play it. I mean, if we being honest, that game is probably the biggest game in the AFC this year. That determines who is the number 1 seed and who's probably going to be the number 2 seed. I don't think either of those teams, based off their matchups, will lose the next week, so that won't change. If one of them do lose the next week, then I would say go for it. But maybe you do a Sunday and a Thursday game, and then that gives them equal amount of time to kind of recover. But at the same time, I agree with you, Guyton. It is tough to play a football game more than one time a week after getting banged up, especially with that traumatic experience that happened on field. Emotionally, the emotions that these guys gonna have going back out on that field, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be really tough, especially if the player that suffered the injury, especially if he doesn't get the result that we all want him to get.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
for sure.
It's prayers out to him and his family, man. I don't even know what I would do in that situation, And shout out to the NFL for actually postponing the game. Everything in me told me it's a lot of money tied up into these games. They wouldn't cancel it, but that was a really good decision. They took the pay hit, and they canceled the game, or postponed the game. I think that was a smart decision by the NFL.
Yeah, and again, this is why I say that Taylor, McDermott, they deserve all the love in the world, because they more so made the decision for the NFL than the NFL made the decision to them. Because had the NFL had their way, that game would have, after that 5 minutes, they would have went right back to going at it. And I can tell you, being around football for as long as I have, I've seen some things that, and I've been a guy who had 3 season-ending injuries. All of them were not visible to the naked eye. Like, you couldn't see my bicep. I got 2 scars for this one is for where my bicep originally stopped, and this one is because I kept practicing after I tore it because I didn't know it was torn, so it rolled up further. You can't look at that and see oh, he's not okay. All you see is a guy with his arm wrapped up going at it. You can see my Achilles and be like, oh, Kenton may not live again. You knew I was going to be okay after a while.
Right.
Can I run and jump like I used to? No. But, as a human being, as a normal human, for what reason would I need to run a 5 flat 40 in regular life? You know what I mean? That doesn't matter, especially in comparison to what we're talking about here, to where, again, this young man, Damar Hamlin, is younger than all of us. Chris, you're 26, right? Or 25?
Yeah, 26.
26, yeah. 26. He's younger than all of us. So, again, our thoughts and prayers go out, and we'll be making a contribution to his toy drive as well, as the contributions are taking off, and it's reached over $4 million, and we're going to send out the link as well for that. I'm going to send it out from my personal page. We'll send it out from the pod page if we can. But again, this is, we love to keep it light here. We love to keep it fun here. But this just ain't one of those moments that we can be light and fun. You know what I mean? This is sometimes the serious things need to be taken serious.
I just want to add too, coming from an operations standpoint, safety is number one priority in anything. So NFL, this is your time to really show what you're made of. I mean, this needs a deep dive right away. This needs corrective actions right away. You know, we need to look into see if there's better padding materials for shoulder pads and chest pads and stuff like that. This is the time where you reevaluate everything you thought about for injuries like this. This is the time the NFL shows their growth.
And I'll tell you this much. I will give the NFL props because the people who were on the sidelines, who are supposed to be trained and who are supposed to be administering CPR and all that, immediate response. And in moments like this, those seconds, those minutes, they matter. They matter. Like, my mother is a long-time nurse, and when me and her chatted about it, you know, she said the same thing as far as, like, if you miss that by like a minute or two, that could be the difference between somebody possibly recovering with, like, you know, being as close to fine as you can be after this, and, you know, somebody going on to join their ancestors.
Yeah, they said it was lack of circulation to the brain, and it's, you know, I think it's 4 minutes, but for that before you pronounce brain dead. So yeah. So it matters, and again, I do think that, you know, you take a look at the pad and see if anything went wrong there, but again, the NFL did not do a lot right. They didn't do a lot right, but they did do the response to this. I'll give them their credit. They did that extremely correctly. So again, prayers go out to Damar and the entire Hamlin family, his entire family. You know, we're praying that they're all they're all getting the outcome that they want to see here. That Damar makes a full recovery, and that, you know, everything works out there. But that's again, it's dominated the news cycle today. And again, it's very serious. This is not a joking matter, but we also want to talk to you about some more sports today because, again, even in a moment like this, we want to find something or some things to kind of enjoy here. So for the rest of the show, we got mostly basketball talk. Obviously, the NFL playoffs are right on the brink, so we're going to talk some NFL playoffs, who's in, who's out. Can the Lions finally pull off a win against the Packers in the last week of the season to get in? That'd be poetic justice, baby.
Or is this a little help from Seattle too? They need a little help.
Yeah, they need a little help from Seattle too. But I'm just, if you don't beat Green Bay, none of it matters anyway. None of it matters. You know what I mean? If you need help, you still got to help yourself. You know what I mean? So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the Nets, who have been hot as fish grease, and the Suns, who have, you know, kind of cooled down. And the Pelicans are the top seed in the West. But Zion does as Zion do. Just been announced out 3 weeks with a pulled hamstring. Brandon Ingram is out as well. So that's where we're going. And, of course, if we got time, we'll get around to our fact of the week and act of the week. That sounds like a good show to y'all, fellas.
Sound good to me.
Sir.
All righty, well, let's get into it. What's up, y'all? Have a seat. It's your favorite hour of the week with the Facts Over Acts crew. We got the master of the mix and master, Josh Guyton, in the building.
That is I.
Hey, by the way, that sweater got a crisp. What size that sweater is, man?
It's a little, you know, large situation.
It looked like my size a little bit.
hey, if you fit into a large, you can have it, big dog.
Hey, that's absolutely not happening, man. I done lost a little weight.
You gonna be looking like he brought Powerpuff Girls when they tried to make their own sister.
Them uniforms, little boy. Them uniforms all hunched over. Hey, we're here. We got the money man, the American player, Chris Allen, in the building.
Right here.
And then we have the little old MC, that's me, King Gibbs. Now, folks, I would like to say that this is a very interesting thing here because the Nets have seemingly improved without doing basically anything other than firing Steve Nash. So, fellas, tell me this. I want to know, was Steve Nash the only problem? Are they just hitting a stretch of bad teams? What's happening to have Kyrie Irving acting totally different, throwing down putback dunks and whatnot? What's going on, fellas?
I don't necessarily want to place the blame on Steve Nash. I think they would be doing as well as they are right now if they had him? No. But look at the landscape of the NBA currently. How many superstars off the top of y'all head are healthy and play consistent minutes in the 2022-23 season?
I'll
I
probably
got
say
10 I could name.
I
I
say
can't
10
name
is a
10.
stretch. I
I can't name
was
10.
thinking 6, and 2 of them are in Brooklyn.
I got Giannis, I got Luka, actually I wouldn't even throw Kyrie in there. I'd throw KD in there, but I don't know. Was Kyrie hurt earlier this season? I feel like he was hurt earlier.
No,
he wasn't.
he's been healthy all year.
Okay, so I guess we'll throw Kyrie in there as well. Jokic and
I was gonna say Tatum.
Oh yeah,
Tatum, yeah.
Tatum. Yeah, so
Now say
I was gonna say Jaylen Brown.
this season Embiid.
you said Jaylen
Embiid.
Brown?
I don't know if I put
he
Jaylen
hurt
Brown
like that.
superstar status yet.
I was about to say.
Oh, you saying superstar? Okay,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, I throw Embiid in there though. I give Embiid.
Okay,
I give Embiid.
Joker's another one.
And
Yeah,
so-
we already
so-
said Joker.
Yeah.
We already said Joker.
So we got about 6 or 7. When you got 2 of those people on the same team, basketball generally tends to work that, especially in a regular season, the team with the most talent is going to win. And if you got 2 players who are still capable of putting up 35 and 5 on any given night, you're going to win basketball games. Is that sustainable when it comes to the postseason and rotation shorten and you're going to get more, defense? We can't necessarily say that, but I think in a regular season, once we got to see a fully healthy KD play, and I'm not going to say healthy, but an available Kyrie Irving play together on the floor significant minutes, I think that these wins were inevitable.
I'm sorry, bro, but that's so funny, bro. Kyrie, only problem is Kyrie, bro. Like Kyrie be healthy as heck.
I mean,
bro.
if we're being honest, the Nets can have a championship.
Bro, Kyrie be so healthy, just not playing ball, bro.
The Nets can have a championship. That year that Milwaukee won, if Kyrie decided like, yo, let me go ahead and get this vaccine and hoop, I think that the Nets easily win a championship.
I agree.
Bruh.
I agree. I'm not.
That is
disagreeing with you.
hilarious, dog. Bro, Kyrie literally missed 6 games this year because he retweeted something, bro. Like,
Honestly, here's the worst part. It wasn't even the retweet that got him. It was the doubling down, bro. Just apologize. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend nobody. That's not what I believe. Boom.
Do y'all think they gave who was it just got shoes? You think they gave John Morant Kyrie shoes? Because they announced John Morant for a shoe deal with Nike, and he had his own shoe like 2 weeks later. I think they just took the shoes that they was about to
I
release
think
for
he was gonna get
Kyrie
them
and was
anyway.
just like, here.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I think that that was a situation where like everything kind of worked together because like at the end of the day, Nike don't waste no time. When they think they got a star on their hands, Nike does not play. I'm gonna tell you, some other companies who I shall not name because certain people in my life who are important to me work there. Certain companies, you don't know who their athletes are. For example, who is Joel Embiid sponsored by?
I want to say Adidas.
Adidas.
Okay, he's Under Armour.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know anybody besides Steph on Under Armour.
my point exactly.
Is Kawhi Under Armour?
Kawhi is
Kawhi
Puma.
New Balance. He
New Balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see my point though. Like there are other companies that like they have multiple superstars that you hear like, oh, he's on there really. As opposed to Nike, everybody who's Nike. I mean, right away.
The shoes matter too. Like you're not about to go
But
buy
Joel
some
Embiid
Damian
don't even
Lillard's.
wear it. Yeah, he don't even wear Under Armour, low key. Joel
Bruh,
Embiid.
Damian Lillard shoes is actually not bad. They are actually
You got a pair?
Okay, you can't use my closet as the hold on. You can't use my closet as the measuring stick because half of the shoes I got are free.
I have never seen a pair of Damian Lillard's in the wild.
Bro.
Yeah, you don't go to the gym
in
to
the
see
wild.
D Lillards. You don't go to the
Bro,
hoop run if
I
you
had
like D
all right.
Lillards.
Have y'all ever seen D Rose shoes? Just out and about.
When D Rose was hot, I did. When like
all the time,
2011,
everywhere.
12, 13, I seen them D Roses
All the time.
everywhere.
I had 3 of them.
All right, well, never mind then, because I was gonna say I got a bunch of free D Roses from NC State, because he was Adidas and they was Adidas, and they, But you get my point. You can't use my closet because I don't have anything other. I don't have any other player's shoe other than LeBron's and Jordan's. That's it. Those are the only players who shoe. Oh, and I got some Kobe Crazy 8s, which also came free because Adidas school, Adidas shoe, bada bing, bada boom. But that's it. That's the full extent of my closet right there.
I know this is a freaky shoe and you don't see nobody with them. That's why I want them. You hook me up with a pair of them crazy ones.
Hey, man, get out of here, dog.
I feel like I could pull off some crazy ones, bro.
Get out of here. Here's the thing, Ziff. You can, Josh. You can pull off the crazy one. Those crazy ones would look wild for most people. Like, them shoes is aggressive. Them shoes, I wish we could pull up what a crazy one looks like for the viewers to show, like, this is the shoe we're referencing.
I could pull them off, though. They some ugly shoes.
Again, that's truly a man making the shoe type deal. Like, that's like it's a what did he say? Kanye West said, I could stand there in the Speedo and be looked at like a redacted hero. That's one of those moments. That's one of those. But anywho, long story short, I don't think that Ja Morant got the shoe like they were like, oh, we was gonna make these the Kyrie 13s or whatever, but Kyrie decided to be anti-Semitic, so now they did Ja Morant ones. Like, I just think it was just like Nike don't play. When you sign up with Nike, oh, you averaging 20 and you sign with us? Hey, young man, we've got a shoe for you right here.
True.
Yeah.
Chat, that's some crazy ones right there for you on screen. Specifically the pair that I want.
My Lord. And I knew you wanted the yellow one. I knew when he said, for the listeners who are not viewing, just Google crazy one Adidas and the yellow and silver pair. That's the one. That is again a very rough shoe. But long story short, I don't think that Kyrie got those. Chris, what are you accrediting this Nets run to?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Gibbs, you said all the dang on time, man. The best ability is availability. They have been healthy for once on a stretch. Last year, if y'all remember, they was on a stretch as well. Then KD went down for 6 weeks. Then Harden asked for a trade, and then they just went to shambles. And then they got swept by the Celtics when everybody got back. But this year, I think it's a little different for one reason and one reason only. You don't have a locker room with Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving with a rookie head coach that's not. Respectfully, I'm saying this respectfully. Nothing against that race, but that's not a brother. Let's be honest.
Now you sounded like the Suns owner. They need an N-word to leave the N-word.
No, I'm being honest. Think about how we grew up in a black household versus how some of your colleagues that aren't black grew up in their household. Think about that, right? Think about that. My brother is a prime example. He went to suburb schools. I went to Cass, right? Mm-hmm. We are two different people. I don't even hang out with my brother because we so different. Like, he say stuff to my mom.
You graduated from Farmington. You went to the suburbs with him. Stop trying to play a little bit. I'm just messing with you, man. Go ahead.
But I'm just saying, it's like the stuff my little brother tried to get away with my mom's. I would have never tried when I was his age. It's just like, I would have never tried that.
He be slamming the door, calling your mama by her first name.
Yes, stuff like that.
Sharon, get out of here! What are you doing, Sharon?
It's like I think that was a big part of it as well. Like, they stepped on Nash. Like, Nash ain't had no voice in the locker room. I think that was a big part of it. The second part, I think, was, if you think about it, this was probably the best thing that could have happened to Kyrie. He ain't really been a social network, social media, nothing right now. He is totally locked in right now. Even when they try to trip him up and ask him about Thanksgiving, he was like, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Anybody that does, you have a great time. Like, he's different. Kyrie is like, you know what? That cost me thousands and thousands of dollars. I ain't doing nothing for the media no more, and I'm going to leave the media alone.
Hey, I would probably say millions. I would probably say
I was going to say millions, but I don't know, though.
Either way it go. Even if you lose hundreds of thousands, I'll tell you what. I done lost many a thing in my life.
Well, he did. He lost Nike, so yeah, he lost millions. He lost Nike.
I done lost many a thing in my life, right? I done fumbled some good friends, some good women. I literally dropped a half gallon of Grey Goose vodka before. That was in my Henny Man era in college. Y'all need to know about that. But long story short, the half gallon didn't burst, but the top of it broke, so I had to like pick it up real quick, and it was like it was a good amount left, but you still hurt about the liquor that spilled. You know what I mean? And I wasted a lot of money on liquor when I was in college. I ain't never, ever lost something like that. I'd be crying and throwing up like Jamie Foxx and Ray off that one. The minute I got that call from Nike, like, hey, we can go ahead and terminate your contract. What do you mean you terminate my contract? Hold on, brother. We can talk about this, man. I can go down to the synagogue right now. Bro, my best friend's a rabbi. What is you doing, bro? Let me in. That's a real unfortunate situation.
But I think this is a wake up call for Kyrie, because I know Kyrie wants a life outside of basketball, after basketball, and Nike was gonna be one of those outlets for him. He lost that, so I think this is a more motivated Kyrie. He's playing for a contract as well. This is his people. I don't know why nobody bring this up. This is Kyrie's last year, his contract. Like, Kyrie's a free agent in the offseason. Nobody's talking about that. Like, Kyrie came up and dipped from Brooklyn.
Hey, honestly, it was kind of crazy. I was playing on my player the other day, and it was like the suggested free agents, and Kyrie Irving was at the top, and I'm like, wait, what? He didn't get renewed? Huh. I still don't want him on my team either. Crazy. And slides down to RJ Barrett. But, I get you. I'm going to tell you this.
Hey, not to cut you off. What's crazy about a game like 2K is I would definitely take RJ over Kyrie on 2K.
Right? Like, it's not even close.
Yo, RJ Barrett is prime Allen, bro.
I ain't doing that, bro. He shoot the blood. But Kyrie, pack.
Hold on. You got to understand. How old is Kyrie Irving? What is he, like 32? 31?
Nah, he's 29, 30, something like that.
Either way, he's on his downslide. RJ Barrett is like going up. According to 2K, they're going to be the same player, if not RJ is better in a year. And
2K drastic drops be just like, bro. They had the craziest one I seen, bro. I was playing this back when I was like trying to do like fantasy leagues. I was playing right. They had Luka go up to a 99, right? As soon as Luka turned 30, he went down to a 92. I was like, bro, what?
Hey, go simulate 2 years on 2K right now. Paul George is about a 74.
Oh, bro, Paul George gets beat bad, bro. Bro, he's only 29. Paul George dropped like 6 overalls every year.
Yeesh. Hate that for him. I'm going to say this because nobody wants to say it, and I'm going to be the bad guy. I'm going to say it. What we're seeing with the Nets is the direct result of this new NBA that is championship or tank. I'm going to read off the name because most people, when they talk about the Nets being hot, they go back to November 27th. Since then, I believe they're 12-2 or something like that, or 12-1 or something along those lines. Let me read off these team names for you, and you tell me if this team is, not if they're good or bad, just if they're tanking or going to get a top 5 pick next year, okay? That's the only parameters I want. That work out for y'all?
Yeah.
All right, Trailblazers. Are they tanking or going to have a top 5 pick?
They're not tanking, but they
No.
go in the middle of the
I would say no. I would say no. I
No.
would agree.
No.
Magic.
Yes.
Yes.
Wizards.
No. What's kind of hooping?
I think the Wizards could get a top 5 pick. I very seriously think they get a top 5 pick.
I think they're trying to be a mid team. Like that's
I hear you. I hear you. They want to be mid, but right now they're 17-21, which puts them 1 game in front of the Raptors and technically 3 games in front of the Magic. Like I'm not kidding when I say
they
this.
are one bad slump away from being
They're
last
one
place.
They're one slump away from being right down here with the Magic, Hornets, and Pistons. So
I agree with you, but
here's the thing. Yeah. I'll even give you that one. Okay, so right now we're at 2-2. All right, so then they go on to the Raptors. The Raptors. Where are the Raptors at right now?
They could get a top 5 pick. I don't know
The
how that
Raptors are in the territory to get a top 5 pick.
I think they realized Fred VanVleet is older than what they thought. They picked him up at 28, thought he was going to be good for a long stretch.
The Raptors are 16-21. So now we're at 3-2. They lost to the Celtics, so the Celtics don't count because they didn't beat that team. And then after the Celtics, they got the Hornets. Are the Hornets in that category a bad team or bottom 5 or tanking?
Yeah.
So they're gonna get a top 5 pick. They beat the Hawks. The Hawks are not in that category. So right now we're at 3-3. Pacers. I would say no.
No.
Although they're about to blow it up, we all know that they're on the verge of blowing it up, but they haven't yet.
Yeah, but the Pacers have been a
They gonna-
mid team for 40 years.
That's true. That's very true. It's so unfortunate.
The Pacers always gonna get like 41 wins.
So now you got 4 teams to 3, and then you got the Wizards again and the Raptors again, which puts you back at, what is that, 5 teams to 4, and then you got the Pistons, Warriors, and Bucks. So long story short, I mean, you're looking at a situation where,
about
again,
50-50, low-key.
But that's my point. I didn't do who's good and bad, because these teams, if we did good and bad of like, wait, which of these teams are actually good that you say the Nets beating them is an accomplishment? That's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different ball game. On this entire stretch, the only teams that you would say beating them is an accomplishment, the Bucks, the Warriors, and maybe one of those Hawks wins, or maybe the Hawks. That's it. Beating the Wizards is an accomplishment for them. I mean,
No, yeah, true.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the result of the new NBA. If you have a couple of decent players, if you have a couple of a superstar, just one superstar, you're gonna be in every game and beating a lot of these teams. You got 2 superstars, you should be having stretches like this. You should be. At the end of the day, the best thing that most of these teams got. What's the best thing the Pistons got on the court right now? Bogdan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was gonna say Ivy and Killian been showing that they formidable players off the like rotational players. I don't think either one of those are guaranteed starters, but they showing that they could be rotational players.
But that's my point. If the best thing you got is like a rotational player, like the Hornets, Melo is a star. I don't think he's a superstar. I don't think he's superstar status yet. I think he's a star.
I think he gets there.
Nah.
I think he gets there eventually. I think he gets there. I think right now he's just a star. And a star versus 2 superstars. I mean, listen, what do you want from PJ Washington? What do you really want?
Well,
from him?
they really got 2 superstars and a star. Like, say what you want about Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons just shown defensively, you ain't really doing nothing against Ben Simmons. Like,
But that's my point. But that's my point. They have so much talent that even if the coach just sat there and said, "Hey, man, on offense, run ISO. On defense, go under every screen and being lock on to their best player. That's our strategy. Drop everything. Keep the ball in front of you."
But
with that.
here's the thing, though, Gibbs. When the last time we seen a team finish last in rebounding and sustain a long stretch of wins like this? Like, they are last in rebounding.
Again, when is the last time we've seen the NBA with this many bad teams? When is the last time we saw the NBA where there was this much of like, there's really good championship contending, and then there's that range of like, I mean, they're gonna make the playoffs, but they're not championship contender, which was only like, I think this version of the NBA has like 4 contenders, 4 to 6 teams where you're like, I can guarantee they're gonna make the playoffs, but they might not do much. And then after that, everybody else is trash. There's gonna be some really bad teams.
I think the last time
this happened
was 03, obviously.
But that's my point. We have not seen this.
Honestly,
And what-
03, it might have been more parity in 03.
And what year is
Nah,
it?
because everybody knew that the Lakers was going 3-peat.
But how many teams would you say are contenders in the West this year?
I would say in the West,
Yep.
I would say you got Denver.
Okay.
You got the Warriors, obviously. You got Memphis. and
You can see
got-
Memphis winning a championship.
Yeah, on a good day. Like, they gotta have all their cylinders clicking though. They all their cylinders clicking.
Christopher Rondell Allen.
I mean, I'm being honest.
Stop
like,
playing.
they could win. They could
Stop
win some
playing.
basketball games. They could win some basketball games.
Stop. You could not see. We're not talking about basketball games.
A
We're talking about
championship.
lifting
I
the Larry
know.
O'Brien trophy at the end of this.
Listen. They about a year or two away. But I'm saying
that's what he said,
If they got
right
to
now.
the finals, this year. So you got the Warriors, Denver. You got. I would say it's hard to say them though, bro. It's really hard to say them, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I could see the Pelicans lifting the Larry OB. Just because of how bad the West is right now. Like, the West is actually worse than the East by far right now. Like, if you look at the West, Denver and the Warriors, who else? Who else is playing good basketball other than the Pelicans?
Chris, stop playing. I'm going to tell you this. Unless we get a situation where, like how Kawhi got his championship, where multiple players go down with very serious injuries.
That's what I'm saying. If the Warriors lose one guy, I put the Pelicans as a more competitive team in the playoffs over them.
No. This is what I'm saying. The Pelicans, who they would face off against up in the East. You think the Pelicans got a shot against the Celtics?
Oh, no. He just said the West. Who are the contenders in the West? And I said three teams that I'm saying who I could see coming out the West.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm talking about who do you have that could win a chip? Who do you have?
Oh, so y'all say overall.
Win a
Okay.
championship.
Not just get there.
No,
okay,
not
so
just get there.
Just Warriors in Denver to me on the West.
Okay.
Just Warriors in Denver.
If you want to go back to 2003, the Spurs won a championship, right?
They won in the 99, right?
They won 99 and 03. They won in 99. Lakers won 2000, 01, 02. Spurs won 03.
Right. They won 03.
Okay.
Right.
Was Sacramento not a championship contender?
If they didn't get Ham, they would have made.
You made the argument Sacramento had the best team in the league.
But it's the Kings, bro. Come on, it's the Kings.
Would you not?
But this wasn't those Kings, though.
Right.
This wasn't those Kings.
Bro, it's always the Kings.
This was
the Kings. The Kings is some hoopers.
Bro, if it wasn't for the most obvious rigging in all of sports history, I don't think that the Kings don't win the championship that year, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If they get past the Lakers in that game 6, I think they're going to get a ring.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get a ring. I'm just saying, it's hard for me to
With
see
those
why.
Kings that played in the finals, the Nets.
Nets. The Nets. They were,
Get out of here.
GG's. Hey, they would have been the first ever streamer. Hey, put GG's in the chat for the Nets.
Yep.
Put GG. Everybody looking up. What does GG's mean and what is the chat? Don't worry about it. Y'all figure it out.
I agree with y'all.
Y'all figure it out.
I agree with y'all. That Kings team was tough. They had shooting everywhere, and that was before shooting was a big thing. But the Kings hater in me just can't say the Kings was going to get the title, bro.
Get rid of the Kings. Would you not say Dallas was a contender that year?
Nah, they was a couple years out. It was a couple years out.
They had 60 wins.
Stop it. I was just about to say that.
They
Dallas
had
team was a
60
contender.
wins.
It was good. It was good, but
They had Steve Nash, Dirk, Mike Finley.
That's what I'm saying.
We talking about the Kobe and Shaq Lakers in a Tim
Yes.
Duncan, Greg Pop Spurs.
Yes.
But that's
Nobody
the
was
point.
beating them.
But that's the point. The Spurs, the Lakers are the first two teams you think about as like the best. But again, everybody knows the Kings got hammed out of a series win. Everybody knows that. Like
Outside of a fully
teams.
healthy Warriors, nobody in the West right now is better than that Kings team or that Dallas team.
I'd agree.
No, they're not.
Okay.
I'd hold
Talent
you.
is way more
Was
spread.
Minnesota not a contender that year?
All right, that's where you start losing. Hey, that's where you start losing.
Wait.
That's where you start losing. Cassell was at his best at that point.
They
but-
top 4 was Sam Cassell, Sprewell, Zerbiak, and KG. MVP KG.
Right. That's Springwell and Zerbiak is not no.
Hold on. Sprewell, that was before Sprewell said I got a family to feed and never got paid
Sprewell was
again.
who? He was giving you 20 a game.
That Sprewell was hooping. Now,
Bro, he was giving you 20 a game because they only ran a 7-man rotation. That team was horrible.
Listen, I'm not going to give you Zerbiak. I'm sorry. I can't give you Zerbiak, but I give you Sprewell.
I give you Sprewell too. I give you
Sprewell was a baller.
because
Sprewell was
he
tough.
played 44 minutes a night. I mean, he wasn't Tony Snell, but he played 44 minutes. He gave 20. But
Okay, did Portland not have a squad?
All right, now I'm fully out at this point.
Did they not?
You kind of
That squad was way over the hill. That squad was way over the hill.
It was a 50-plus win team for multiple seasons.
They overperformed.
But you knew they were like the Pistons when they went on that stretch of like going to the conference finals every year, where you knew like the Pistons are gonna be there, but are they actually gonna win?
I'm saying
like,
compared to the West right now, I just named you 6 50-win teams.
Oh, I'll tell you this much: if you put that Portland team in this West, I think at worst they're a 3 seed. At worst, at absolute worst.
They cooking probably the entire way. Look at their roster.
Like I said, the West is trash because the West has the most injuries right now. You know, we haven't seen a fully healthy Clippers team yet. We haven't seen a fully healthy Memphis.
You're never going to
yet.
see a fully healthy Clippers team. You're never going to see a fully healthy Clippers team.
Hey, look, Guy ain't the one that put the Clippers first, not us.
That's like. I mean, that's like. Hey, listen. That's like saying. If it really would be a nice party, although if everybody wearing black Air Forces was just chill, we'll be all right. Like
all I'm saying is,
Clippers
3 games out of first place.
Listen,
oh my God.
I'm gonna say this. Captain in the chat. He just said Portland with Dame has been 50 wins. And that's true. That's how I feel about that Portland team.
And that's what I'm saying. That Portland team, you knew that Portland team was not a contender for a championship. But if you put them and you talk about what they were as far as a regular season team, yeah, they were going to be good.
Now, I'm not going to argue the East. The East in 03 was pretty dookie.
Hey,
but that's what I'm saying.
But here's the thing. If you're talking from a standpoint of parity, then yeah, you kind of gotta talk about the fact that there are a lot of teams.
Yeah. So what contenders are in the East this year? You can see winning a championship.
I think a lot in the East, low key.
I think you can see the Celtics, the Nets, the Bucks, even the 76ers. Honestly, I can't give it to the Cavs. No, I can't give it to the Cavs. I know I was gonna catch heat for that.
I like the Cavs, but did not.
I like them, but I can't do it.
Hold on. Pause. Get.
I can't do it.
I know they sold you on that lake.
Sold me disgusted. Sold me filthy.
Hear me out. We about to clip this. Hear me out. I'm about to make a lot of sense, right? Out of power forwards in the NBA right now, where would you rank Kevin Love?
I mean, I'd probably say he bought 9, 10.
He's top 10, right? He's still a top 10, right?
Yeah, but
he's the ninth best player on the Cavs.
But the power forwards in the NBA right now, in terms of like that I have seen and that I have watched, and in terms of like me saying like, oh, how many of these power forwards are really good? It's thin. It's thin right now. Because if you put prime LA with this group of power forwards, I'm like, hey, there's Giannis, there's him, period. There's Giannis and there's him. There's nobody else between those.
I agree with you. But you're not asking him to be a top 5 power forward. What I'm saying is they have a team that they top to bottom, right? Ricky Rubio is the 8th man on that roster. Karis LeVert is the 10th man on that roster.
I mean, listen, hear you.
That's a solid team. You got Jared Allen. You got Isaac Okoro, who been balling on defense and offense. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland playing great basketball together. They are actually the best backcourt in the East right now.
I hear you, but how many teams kick down the door without knocking on it first? How many teams came in and kicked down the door? We've never seen it.
I agree with you. But look at how the Cavs went, right? They won a title in 16, right? They lost in 17-18. They've been in rebuild mode for the last 5 years. They've been knocking at the door slowly but surely. When they grabbed Darius Garland,
but they ain't got that playoff experience.
That's what I'm saying. When I mean knocking at the door, I mean like everybody knows at the end of the day, when the season gets to that playoff time, all of the rotations get shorter. Like, ooh, you got 9 really good players. Good for you. Congratulations. You got to play against that other team's best 7 for 48 minutes.
I agree with you. But to me, you got the Bucks, Celtics, Cleveland, the Nets, Philly that can all be contenders in the East. I think the champions for sure coming out the East this year. The East is, and I didn't even say Miami. You know, Miami comes on the field late or come on the court late in the season. And then not to mention,
I'll tell you this, and people might not like this. They're gonna hate it. They're gonna say I'm a name recognition, and because the Heat are always my second team out the East rather that I like a lot. I'd have more faith in the Heat winning it all than the Cavs, honestly.
I mean, because they've been there. I would agree with
That's what I'm saying. You got to knock on the door. Everybody else who's won in recent memory, they got real close. They conference finals, NBA finals, and then they kicked the door down.
Listen.
I agree. I haven't seen nobody skip that step recently in the NBA. At least I haven't seen it.
I'll say the 2020 Lakers did.
But the 2020 Lakers, that's not the same.
That's a different circumstance.
If LeBron and AD are your
I'm
best
just saying.
players, if LeBron and AD are your best players and they're healthy, that is a abnormal like.
It's not an up and coming team.
Everybody
I would agree
else,
with
you gotta.
What? Okay, Captain. Yeah, 8-man rotation. Nobody other than the Celtics have a better 8-man rotation than the Cavs.
Again, in the playoffs, most of these teams are playing 7 or 8 max.
Exactly.
If they have
and
to.
I'm saying, nobody in the league other than the Celtics have a better 7, 8 deep guys better than the Cavs.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
Who has a better 8 than the Cavs? Let me starting lineup. Okay. Let me pull up the Cavs roster to make sure I'm not fibbing. All right. Let me pull up the Cavs roster. The only position they lack is small forward, and Isaac Okoro is all they need really because you got 2 scoring guards, right? Mm-hmm. Let me just pull this up.
Again, without even trying, the Nuggets got a better. The Nuggets have a better 7 than them. Without even trying,
the Nuggets have a better 7 than the
yes.
So okay, they starting lineup is Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland when he comes back, he injured right now. Jared Allen, Lamar Stevens, and K Love. Right, K Love sometimes start, but then sometimes they start Evan Mobley. Actually, Evan Mobley, right? Mm-hmm. They so that's 5. You got Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Lamar Stevens, right? And Lamar Stevens is their 3 and D guy, like he that glue guy, right? Mm-hmm. Off the bench, right? You got Isaac Okoro, right? Who's another 3 and D guy if you need him, but they don't have to play him. But let's go 6-7. You got Karis LeVert, Kevin Love, and you got Neto, Rubio coming back. That team deep, bro. That team deep.
I mean, good for them. Again, depth matters a lot during the regular season when you need your rotations to be wider because you have longer periods to play and all that good stuff. Sure. In the playoffs, again,
okay.
If you're looking at, I'm gonna tell you this very seriously, right? The way that Aaron Gordon has played this year, Aaron Gordon is more efficient than he's ever been in his career with less touches than he's ever had in his career. He's putting up career highs and shooting. And I believe I'm and y'all know I'm big on this stat. I'm fairly sure he's one of the 40% from deep guys this year. Or no, I'm sorry. He's
he's shooting for this year.
Hold on. No, he's not. He's 37.3% from deep. Again, this man
he's shooting 60, 37, 69. I think that's his splits.
But that's my point. Like this is a team, and again, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Jokic.
Well, Michael Porter took a step down. He ain't been balling like that this year.
Bro, Michael Porter Jr. is averaging 18 and 6. He's going 18 and 6 on 40% shooting from deep. This is what I'm trying to tell you, Chris.
We already said the Nuggets are good. You know
what I'm saying.
You picked them to win. Be the first place in the West.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're saying that no team has a 7 that's as good except the Celtics, and I'm like, the Nuggets have that argument. Bones Highland in there as well. The Nuggets have that argument for. I beg your pardon. Our 7 can match up with their 7. They may have deficiencies in certain spots, but the places where they have advantages are big enough to make up for those deficiencies. Because what are you going to do with that back-to-back MVP that's looking like he finna go back-to-back? What are you going to do with that guy? His quiet night the other night was an 18-point triple-double. That was his, he's off tonight game. Like, what do you do with that?
Honestly, people might call me crazy, bro, but, this might be really wild to say, but I think even if you take Kareem in it, I think Joker offensively is the best big man that we've ever seen. Like even if you take Kareem in the account.
I don't know why that would be argument.
I said this at the barbershop. Oh, it's like Kareem. They was
you
saying
can't talk
Hakeem
basketball with
old heads.
They was
old
like
heads
old head told me Ryan Harper will lock up Steph Curry.
And here's the deal.
Steph giving Ryan Harper 40.
Steph gonna shoot the hair back on the Ryan Harper head.
He gonna have a fade by the time the game's done.
Let me explain something to you, bro. To me, like we all know ball, and we all know that offense goes beyond just your ability to score and your gravity. Well, it also comes out to what do you do with that gravity. And Jokic is averaging nearly 10 assists this year. Like,
listen. I think what Joker is, his 40, 10, and 15, it ain't sexy like Kareem's was. Like when Kareem dropped 40, you was like, dang, Kareem looked good dropping 40. You know, that hook shot, he was giving people bows to the neck, dunking. Joker, really, his 40 looks effortless. And then the 15 assists is just like, he did that too? Like, you didn't even realize he had 15 assists. Yeah. I think that's why people don't realize how good Joker is. Like,
everybody talks about how good the Celtics defense is. That man gave them 30, 12, and 12 on 10 of 13 shooting. Like, this is what we're seeing from this man. Anybody who's arguing he's not the greatest. And here's the other part. Here's the other part that blows me about old heads. And I'm going to let you talk after this. But I don't understand this about old heads. Why are they so unwilling to let up any title regardless of how small? Like when Kat said I'm the best three-point shooting big of all time. He is. I think he's better than Dirk in terms of three-point shooting ability. But guess what? What does it matter? What is it? Oh, congratulations, you're a great three-point shooting big. Who cares? So what that Jokic is the best offensive center ever? That doesn't make him the best center ever. I don't think he's anywhere near that conversation at this point. Everybody knows Kareem and Hakeem are clear. Shaq clears. But offensively, you're not looking at none of them. If you say you got one possession to score, who do you want in at center? And you just got to get some type of basket? Oh, put Jokic in.
Listen. I'm be honest with y'all. If Jokic play a slight bit of defense, I'm talking like he give you like who's a mid center defender. Like if he give you a couple years like Roy Hibbert,
like Andrew Bynum. Hey, don't disrespect Roy Hibbert defense. Roy Hibbert on the Pacers.
Roy Hibbert was a lot better.
Defense.
Andrew Bynum, like a couple years.
I don't think like Andrew Bynum ever gave you elite defense. I think he gave you like,
okay, we can do Bynum. We could, if Joker give you Bynum defense, right?
Yeah.
Hear me out. If he gave you Bynum defense, I think Joker would be a top 5 player all time. Like if he give you Bynum defense, like top 5 player all time is like tough. Like he could do literally everything, and he's not even in shape. Like Joker is not even in shape.
And listen, I'm with you. I'm not one of those guys that's like, well, I grew up watching Shaq play, so nobody's ever gonna be better. Listen, Shaq, physicality wise, the Jokic would have a very long night. But Shaq having to step out on that perimeter, boy, barbecue chicken alert. That man looking like a shakaroni pizza to that young man, where is he from? Slovenia?
Serbia, I thought.
Serbia. He would look like he would look like a shakaroni pizza to that young Serbian man. That's what he would look like to him. So yeah, he is from Serbia. So I mean, at the end of the day, again, I think that right now the NBA has a lot of bad teams, and that's like what drives it. And then on top of having a lot of bad teams, a lot of teams are one injury away, like one player not playing away from being god awful. I mean, realistically, the only teams that are really good that can survive and withstand one bad injury, I would say the Celtics, the Suns, the Bucks.
No, not the Suns. Not the Suns.
I think the Suns, if you get rid of any one of their players, they'll be all right. With any one. Now, more than one, hold on now. But any one?
If Devin Booker go down, that team is
cooked. In the playoffs, yes, they're cooked. Regular season, they'll be all right. Nah.
Chris Paul played 28 minutes yesterday with 0 points, 0 assists, and 0 for 4 from 3.
Chris Paul had one bad game. You're familiar with his game, Chris. He can't fool you. What are you doing? That man had one bad game, and all of a sudden, okay, now, other than that 1 4-point game, what has he been doing? 20 and 12, 20 and 6. What are we talking about, Chris? What are we talking about?
I'm saying, bro, Devin Booker go down, that team is it struggles. It struggles bad.
Chris, that team, at worst, without Devin Booker, is middle of the road. At worst. At best, without Devin Booker.
They a 7 seed, 8 seed without Booker. That's middle of the road. That's middle.
And
of the
that's
road.
struggling to you. That's struggling to you.
That's
7 seed, 8
playing.
seed
That's
is struggling.
playing. That's playing. That's playing.
But that's what I'm saying. That's better than half the league, bro. That's better than that. That's just the reality of what that is. Like, whether you want to accept it or not, that's struggling for the standard that they've set.
All right. You want to use that argument? You want to use that argument? Darius Garland been out for 2.5 weeks, and they still been winning games like crazy in Cleveland.
You think that Cleveland wouldn't be one of the teams I include in my? They could lose their best player and be all right.
No, but what I'm saying is fully healthy Cleveland. People really sleeping on this Cleveland team. Like, I didn't think it was gonna work, and they surprising.
Chris, they sold my life-changing parlay. That parlay I put down. It was the parlay. Bro, it was so much craziness on that parlay. And everything else hit. All they had to do was hold serve and get into the play-in. And what them boys do? Blow up everything. They blew up everything. Yeah, Kevin Love, go ahead, sit on the bench. Yeah, Andre Drummond, we're going to trade you for a second-round pick. Yeah, we up. Like, bro, what are y'all doing? I digress. Long story short, I think there's a lot of teams that are one injury away from being really bad, but I think that this NBA that we're looking at, this is going to be the reality for, I believe, the next at least 3 to 4 years until, like, we stop doing this thing where every player that comes out in the draft, the top player, everybody's like, oh, he's the next LeBron. Like, at some point in time, I think that has to die. That has to die.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. Let's talk about Wembanyama for a minute. Then we get these Pelicans. We get out of here. I watched the G League game, right? You know, being 7'4" and can play like that, of course you're gonna be good. Of course. Everybody in the G League is fighting for a spot in the league. Of course. I wasn't really that impressed. Like, the first couple games, when they started showing stats, I didn't watch the game. I just saw the stats. But when I actually watched that G League game, which was hard to watch, by the way, because it's just so boring to watch G League game. But it wasn't really like he had 25 the game I watched, but it wasn't like he was like a fought hard for 20. It wasn't a Giannis 25. You know, it wasn't a Showtime 25. You know, it was like a 25 that was like, yeah, bro, you playing against people that never stepped foot in the league, like 25. It was like pickup game 25, you know? So, I don't know, man. We got
somebody dropped 25 in the pickup game. We might have to square up in the parking lot. Don't drop 25 on me, bro. We playing ones and twos. Why would you get that many buckets on my head, bro? Like, especially if my lady there talking about, don't let them do that to you. Yeah, all right. Now I'm nutso from above the rim. That's what's going on here. Reaching in this book bag, Buster.
I mean, I do think with NBA training and with his physical assets, Vic can live up to the hype. But the fact is, somebody that's 7'4" is not, their body is not supposed to jump up and down like that.
I strongly disagree. I think that we, again, I don't know what this fascination is with, like, best prospect since LeBron, or like this prospect is better than LeBron. We have seen this twice in the last, 5 years or so? How long has Zion been in the league?
5 years. This is 5th year because he just got extended, remember?
Yeah, so 5 years ago we saw it. Now we're seeing it again now. Like, the NBA is too obsessed with this narrative of, like, ooh, we found what's next. LeBron is slowing down, so we got to find what's next.
I think it's because LeBron getting older. I think it's because LeBron. The older he get, the more they going to keep trying to find, like, who will be in the league.
You do have to find a new star. So.
And I understand that. But here's the deal, right? Go ahead and milk these Euros for all they worth. Go ahead and make them the face of something. Make it fun. Giannis is so lovable. Let him be the face. He's this humble guy that doesn't really. Oh yeah, I
dad jokes.
I show up every day to earn my spot. Giannis, what are you talking? You dropped 50 in the finals. You have a spot until you don't want it no more. And he just shows up. Hey, I show up. I work hard to keep my spot. Like, okay, bro. All right. But, like, he's a fun guy. That's who you build the league around. Because at the end of the day, you just going to hold yourself by every time setting these players up for failure. And by the way, we're going to segue into the next thing here, because speaking of set up for failure, the Pelicans were the top seed in the West for a brief moment in time there, for a brief glimpse in time. They were the top seed. And they've only stepped back to half a game behind the top seed at this point. So, with that being said, are these Pelicans for real? Can you see these Pelicans raising the Larry O'Brien?
This season, I cannot. However,
Take you serious.
this season I cannot.
What I do?
Hey, bro, you just sound so sarcastic when you asked us that question, bro.
Hey, listen, because Chris, you the one who wanted to ask. Chris, you was the one talking about the Pelicans good, bro. Stop it. Stop it.
So this season I cannot. The health of BI is a concern. Zion's ability to stay healthy is a big concern. But I do think they have the right tools in place. You know, you look back in history, you see those teams that just won like one championship and just squeaked one in there. I can see the Pelicans being one of those teams in the next 1 or 2 seasons, just with their age and the teams that are in the Western Conference that are considered top dogs are a little bit up there in age, and I can see them falling off within the next few years. I can see the Pelicans in the finals, maybe squeaking out a championship, as long as, you know, Milwaukee and Boston is in the East. That's going to be tough. But you got to get Zion healthy. And I think possibly, maybe, we saw glimpses out of Zion this season that he could adjust his game to stay healthy for longer periods than he has before. Healthy for a full season, I'm not sure. But I have noticed that he's adjusted the pace of his game to not jump up and down with a 270-pound frame repeatedly.
Interesting. Chris, what say you? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna let you finish it, Chris, since you're the only one who fully believes in this
I
team.
ain't fully believing in him. I'm just saying.
I like watching him play.
I just want to say this real quick. Right? So, Josh, your argument was that Zion has adjusted his game and he's doing all the right things. And you know, Zion fans were like giving me heat. They were talking about, oh, you were wrong. You told us that Zion wasn't the guy. Very interesting. What's the news that came out about Zion today? Did he like feed the needy or something, or did he drop 50, or what did he do today?
No, happened? He has a hamstring injury. He'll be reevaluated in 3 weeks.
Reevaluated. So he's not going to be back in 3 weeks. He'll be reevaluated.
Oh, he'll be reevaluated in 3 weeks.
Okay. So it seems to me that if somebody perhaps, maybe, I don't know who, but maybe if there was somebody who saw Zion's game and said, okay, he's really good when he's healthy. However, this is a lot like a Kawhi situation where like good when healthy is like saying, oh yeah, this person is such a great human being whenever it's not cold outside and they just happen to live in Nova Scotia. Like this is what we're looking at here. This is what we're looking at. Zion will, at this stage in his career, because of the injury history, until he shows me he can stay healthy for an entire season, I don't see any team with him as your number one option unless you have a boatload of talent surrounding him that can also stay healthy. Yeah. I don't see a team with him as your number one option without those two things that I just put, the prerequisites, being the championship team. I don't see it. I just can't. I can't see it. And so with this Pelicans team, I can see him playing well. I can see him finishing first in the West. I can see it. It's a possibility. What I cannot see is this team winning a championship because, again, those rotations are going to shorten. Zion is going to be asked to take on a bigger load. He's going to be asked to He's going to be asked to be more intense than he has ever been for a longer period of time. And I don't think he can sustain that without, oh, my ankle, oh, my knee, oh, my calf, oh, my thigh. Something in that lower body is going to go wrong every single time and twice on Sunday. And, Chris, I'm going to let you have the floor to finish this out.
So the Pelicans, no, I don't think they gonna win a championship this year, right? But the Pelicans, right? If we look at the landscape of the Pelicans, right? What do they have? They have a ton of assets, a ton.
Oh, absolutely.
They still have all the Laker picks. They still have Brandon Ingram. They have a 29-year-old CJ McCollum. I think he just turned 30. They have Herbert Jones, who showed a lot of promise. They got Big Val down low. They got Devontae Graham. I believe he's still on the roster. They have a lot of assets, right? So Pelicans. Hear me out. You know Zion needs spacing, right? Why don't y'all go say, hey, Pacers, y'all build for the future. Can we borrow Miles Turner, right? Can we borrow Miles Turner? We give you 3 picks, and we give you Herbert Jones. I think the Pacers do that Because now you got Halliburton to build around, you know. All right. Another player they could go get and make it interesting this year, right? Hey, Miami, you got that Duncan Robinson making $90 million a year, not even playing. Hey, how about you take these 2 draft picks and you let us get Duncan Robinson, right? Mm-hmm. Now Zion got a world of space all of a sudden, right? Now Zion don't really got to carry it. He just got to drive and kick for a little while when he need a break, right? So if they made those type of moves, then I'll be like, okay, now y'all set Zion up in the best situation possible to win. But until they do something like that, and Brandon Ingram being healthy, I don't think that team is really sustainable, like, to be a good team long term. You know, they got a great coach. I was one of the biggest Willie Green haters. I'm like, y'all gonna get Willie Green that coaching job? You know, I like Willie Green as a player, but I'm like, he ain't gonna be no good coach for the Pelicans. You know, they just put him there as a placeholder. But Willie Green has been doing a phenomenal job. He reminds me a lot of Monty Williams when Monty Williams had the New Orleans job. Like, be honest with you, he reminds me a lot of that. But overall, the Pelicans need to make moves to make this really, really work. You know, Zion has to be maximized to the best of his ability. Yep. Him being your guard and your forward and your center is not sustainable in the playoffs. You have to give him some rim protection so he don't have to play the big role a lot. You have to give him some more shooters so he doesn't have to drive to the rim every time. Right now out there they have Brandon Ingram when he's healthy, CJ McCollum, and then they got, when they not in the game, they got Jose Alvarado, Herbert Jones, people that haven't proven themselves as shooters yet, you know. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what the moves they need to make it interesting.
I feel you. Honestly, I like Jose Alvarado a lot. I think he's a consistent 3. I think he's very seriously a consistent 3 away from being like a top 15 point guard in the game. And I know that sounds crazy to some people, but like, if you look at his whole package, if you just add the Trey Ball in there.
To be honest with you, you know who's best comparison to me? Jose Alvarado? Who? George Hill.
Don't disrespect that man like that,
bro. I'm talking about in a couple years.
George Hill was a top 15 guard at one point in time.
I'm saying if you add a 3 ball to Jose Alvarado game, listen, I was kind of being blasphemous with top 15. I think he'd be a top 10 point guard if you add a consistent 3 ball to that man's game.
George Hill,
you know what?
George Hill was at his prime.
I got a better comparison. Jameer Nelson.
I'll give you that. I'll take that. Jameer Nelson, because to me, Jameer Nelson is he in the same tier as George Hill, but like barely.
Yeah,
like
you know
they're barely.
Yeah,
exactly. They're on the opposite ends of that. People forget.
The same player though.
People forget George Hill was the one who caused that game 1 loss. Everybody gives the smoke.
Late in his career.
Everybody gives the smoke,
bro.
Late in his career. I don't care how early or late it is in your career. Hitting a free throw is hitting a free throw. You're a guard, my brother in Christ. Make a free throw.
Listen. It don't matter. If JR knew what the game was going on in the game, it would have been a different story.
I'm gonna tell you. Jose Alvarado right now is on at least a 10 shot miss streak from deep, at least at the moment.
Exactly.
I'm telling you,
you switch him with Duncan Robinson. If you switch him with Duncan Robinson, you gotta check Duncan Robinson. I don't care if he don't play for the next 2 years. You gotta check Duncan Robinson at 3.
Absolutely. I'm just saying that man is shooting 19% from 3 in the last 10. That's disgusting.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's the nastiest work I've seen in a minute.
He had that 7 for 10 game. Y'all remember he was talking crazy on social media. He had 7 for 10 on threes, and he ain't been right since. Ain't been right since. That's what happened when you talk too much. When you get that bucket in, I'm him. Anywho, we know y'all tired of us talking Grand Theft Alvarado and the Pelicans, are they good and who's taking, who's not. But come on back for next week and the week after that and the week after that. Peace and love, y'all.